All right, section F, taking down 25 so we can correct it, edit it, and add captions. And here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, where's my grommet? Right here. Okay. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. Heck, this might even be better than where I was before, in terms of being able to see it. What I really want is a camera where I can zoom in right on what I'm seeing. I think that would be most useful for people trying to replicate stuff. And I'm not just doing tents on this channel, obviously, and I've got all kinds of things that I work on. So my goal is to show how I do stuff, you know, in the hopes that, well, in the knowledge that other people want to know how to do stuff. I've learned an awful lot by watching YouTube videos, and so I figured I know how to do a couple of things, and maybe I'll show them and help somebody else out to kind of pay back what I've been able to learn from other folks. There's some pretty cool stuff out there, and it's really helped me learn how to do a whole bunch of new things. In terms of this stuff, I mean, some of it I had to figure out on my own, but a lot of it, especially tents specifically, is you know, other people did some research and then shared it with people and me, and we talked about it, and you know, then I went on and did some of my own research beyond it, but at least the initial part of it was due to somebody else taking the time to share what they had learned. So I figured I should do some of that, you know, help other people. Okay, so we got left or right, right or left, pull it, trim it, done. Alright, so, alright, going in at the top, drag through, leave this tail, go back through the center hole, over to the side a bit. You don't have to go very far out. You know, the hem's 1.5 inches wide. I'm going into the center of it, and just, you know, roughly 3/4 of an inch over, 5/8. I mean, it doesn't need to be measured. What you want when you're done is roughly a circular shape. That's it. It doesn't have to be precise. It's not measured, and I'm positive they weren't measuring these when they were doing them. I imagine doing them just like this. You know, we've got hundreds of these. If you figure they're making hundreds, even dozens, or a few, even if you're making a few tents, you've got dozens of these to make. There are, on this tent, for example, there are 13 stakes. Each of those stakes requires a pair of grommets. So there's 26, and the doors each have an extra, well, there's one extra one there. So it's like, you gotta do 28 grommets on here. It's not supposed to be precious. This is, they've got to get these out to the soldiers in the field. We've got hundreds of troops out there who need a place to live, and they need to march north. So, you know, get the tents built. That's, I think, how things were going at the time. You know, they're in the warehouses in Williamsburg and Fishkill and some of the other places where they had depots. You know, they put it in order. They need the stuff for their guys. We need so many hats, and I need 3 tents, and I need some kettles for them to cook in, you know, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's take a look here and see how many we have done and how many left to do. I've got 2, no, I've got 1 to do here. Those are done. Those are done. And that's it. So just 1 more. So let's knock that one out, and then we'll put the ropes in. So up through, leave the tail, make the cross, subdivide it. Almost as fast as I can say it, it's done. You know, not quite done yet, but it's, these go really fast. And they look cool. So I mean, even if you're doing modern camping gear, you know, I know some, you know, I wouldn't mind using this. You know, I've got some 18th century tarps that I've made, and they had tarpaulins and wagon covers and things. And I've made a couple out of this material or similar to it. Actually, I made a couple out of exactly this material. And, you know, got one out back that I use. This is how I did it, and I use it for modern purposes sometimes. And, you know, nothing wrong with the old school. There's a reason they've been using linen for 4,000 years at least, all around the world. I just saw this, saw some photos the other day of a couple of Egyptian shirts they found in a tomb, I think. Not only are they beautiful, they're like stylish and chic. I mean, I'd wear them today. Well, the man's, I mean, there's a man's and a woman's. They look great, and after 4,000 years, you know, to look at them, you wouldn't know they were 10 years old. You know, they're in great condition. So there's a reason people use this material for a very long time, and probably will continue to. So that is that. I think that's the last grommet of the back. Now, so the sides are done, the back is done. I need my needle nose pliers. Let me put this stuff up. I need my needle nose pliers, and I'm going to open these holes up. I'm going to measure out and cut a bunch of short rope sections. We're going to run ropes through here so the tent can be attached to the ground with tent stakes. So let me find my tools, and where is my scissors? I'm just going to turn the camera here gently so I don't make you seasick, I hope. And I'll bang out. How many do I need here? Let's see. Let's count. I don't have a. All right. This is complete, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to do. So I need 4 ropes. You see this? Right about where I'm trying to see on the floor where. Right where my knee is. If I work here, you can see what I'm doing. How about that? All right. So just get my yardstick. My rope and my scissors. This is hemp rope. And some of the orders from the period for tents, they ordered, there was one for, I think it was, I forget how many fathoms of tent line it was, maybe 5 or something like that. And I think a fathom is 6 feet. You can then figure out, you know, exactly how much they're using for, they called it tent line, and I'm assuming that's roughly equivalent to this stuff. It's kind of cool seeing those orders, because then you can approximate how much material went into the thing and recreate it more accurately. There we go. Okay, that's that. So I'm going to just take these. I'll move. You know what? Let me show you how to do this. I'll put this up on the camera here. So the way I knot these is I just run it around, run this through here once, twice, hold the end firmly, and then kind of work this up. I don't want this to pull out. They almost never do. So that's all it is to it. And I do that on every end. So don't need the scissors. I do need the, where are they? Trouble with a busy carpet is I can't, there we go, just in contrast. Stuff gets lost in the pattern. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and knot one end of each of these pieces of rope. Let's turn this again. You see? Yeah. All right, so again, loop, run it through, hold the end, and then just work it up there. Get it close to the end. That one's a little far away. If you think about it too much, like I'm doing here, because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, it doesn't go quite as well all the time. So there we go. Just work it up toward the end. You don't want it falling off, but really you want most of that rope for the stakes. So just do that, secure it, and And we're going to do the same finish knot on the other end. Once we pass these through the holes we've made, this is going to secure them in there. There is at least one, and I think two, maybe more, examples of, I think they use, of 18th century tents with, they used like washers. I think it was some kind of fruit wood, I don't know, a pear or some tightly grained wood that they made washers for. I don't know if that was Washington's marquee or if it was one of the tents in Austria, but there are examples also of just doing it this way. And I haven't seen any orders. I've seen orders for the materials for a tent that include tent line, twine, which is what I was sewing with, and linen, and that was it. Nothing for hooks and eyes, or a button or a toggle or anything like that. No description of them that I've ever seen. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, it just means that I've never seen it. And likewise, in none of the orders in Virginia that I've seen for Revolutionary War tents during the Revolution did I see anything like, adding washers behind these or anything like that. So this is how I do them, just the ingredients that I have seen on their things. So I just use the needle nose to open these up. So now they're nice and open. And I am going to just pass this rope through. So here's the knotted end. I'm just going to pass it through here to the front, from the back, and there. And now, loop it across. You know what? I should have done it this direction, right? So open that up. You may have to twist it a bit. The rope has a natural twist. If you do a right-hand twist to it, then it'll drill its way in there without unraveling. So anyway, pull it through. Got that knot secured there. Same thing as on the other side. Just run it 1, 2, and then tighten it up toward the end. Really lock it down. And voila, you're done. Next. So this one, I'm going to learn from that past mistake. Open it up, this one up from the back, and this one up from the front, because that's the way I'm going to pass these. So put a piece of rope through. Pass this one through this way and drill it in. Knot it. Pull it tight. And that's it. There's nothing more to it than that. And so now the tent stake will hold this part to the ground. See, we got a couple of viewers on the stream live, and that's really gratifying. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for spending some time here. I hope I can make this worth your while. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. I'm happy to talk. I had a guy drop in the other night when I was live streaming, and we ended up talking for 2 hours, and I learned a whole lot about his interest in living history, and I was able to show him how to do a couple of things, and we had a good time. So glad you're here. There we go. And the last one of this series. I still have to do the doors, but apart from the doors, the tent's done. So this is a big night. This one, open up from the back, this from the front. And one more rope. I'm going to run it through like that. Drill this in. Tighten this down. Just really pull it tight. You don't want that coming loose. And there we go. So, ta-da! I'm happy. That's cool. So, let's see what we got. Once you've done all this, it is helpful to periodically take a look at your work and see what you got going on, and make sure you haven't overlooked something, or in my case, gotten so enthusiastic about about it, that, I'm trying to get a better angle here, that I've overlooked something important. Just take a quick look at this section, and then we're going to get going a little bit the doors. Okay. First thing to do is find the top of the tent. Here's the bell that we just completed. Here are the doors, which we do not need at the moment. I will try to drag this into the center of my tent loft here so you can see what I'm looking at. But, you see that? Yeah. All right, so here we go. So these are the sides of the tent. Top's up there. This is the bell. Haha, cool. So these are the ones we just put in. These are ready to set up. Now, if all goes well, if all my angles are right, if all the construction is solid, I know the construction's solid, I'm not worried about that. If all the angles are right, and I'm sure they are, because I checked them. From here back, the tent's done and ready to use for hopefully hundreds of years. Hopefully this will be well taken care of for a very long time, and it doesn't even have to be that well taken care of. I'm not particularly precious about mine. One thing we do is we just never put it away wet. So if we're at an event and it rains, we wait until we either dry it, just leave it standing up. If you get rain overnight on Saturday night, wait until it's dry Sunday. If you get some sunshine and a breeze, it'll dry in a couple of hours, and then you can pack it up and bring it out for the next time you camp. If you do have to pack it up and take it home wet, set it up somewhere. It is the best way. If it's sunny on Monday morning, set it up and let it sit in the sun and the breeze for a couple hours, and it'll be fine. And then you can pack it up and put it away. So keep it away from fire. Don't smoke in the tent. Don't use a candle lantern. Do not put it anywhere near a campfire. If you look at the blue book, von Steuben's manual, I think he shows the camp kitchens well away from where the troops were camped. And there's a good reason for that. So keep all sources of flame or fire and heat away from these things. Apart from that, there's not a whole lot to do to maintain it. It's they're pretty easy to take care of and pretty easy to use. Wow. All right, well, that's awesome. So now it's on to the doors. It's so cool to see this like this. I think I'm going to try folding this part. Maybe not. How do I want to do this? Do I want to take it apart? I think I should, huh? You can think about it for a minute. Let me think about this for a few minutes. For now, I'm going to fold this end and just get it out of the way. So, all right, let's turn it around and work on it this direction.
give this some thought, because dust on there. So the mark was here. That goes. All right, this is going to require a little bit of brain power. I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and I need to adjust my camera too, right? You can't see that. So, bear with me. And I'll return very, very shortly. I need a cup of coffee though, because this requires a little bit of thought. So I'll be right back. I just realized that my audio was off. There's something I want to double check before I finish this. The rest of the tent is complete except the doors hem. I was just looking at the engraving, one of the engravings that I based this on, and I have a question about it. And so I'm going to go set this tent up very quickly outside. I have my stakes up and my poles are out there. It's ready to go. I had it set up earlier today and I was looking over it and it all checked out. I made a change to the angle of the door cut, and I want to double check that. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm really glad you're here. I hope you can either stick around and watch the stream. It's our stream out in the woods for 20 minutes or so while I go set this up and double check my angle, or drop back. But I'm glad you're here. This is important just because this is the last and very important operation of making the tent. But I'll be finishing it up tonight after I get back in, I don't know, 15, 20, probably 20 minutes. As soon as I get back, I'm going to set to sewing it, and I expect to finish tonight in just a few hours. So, but I'll be back in 20 minutes. Thanks again for coming by. I hope you like the stream. I hope you find this content useful. If you do, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you very shortly. All right, I double checked my tent. I set it up, it works. It's just fine and dandy. Yep. It's just fine. I had it set up earlier. I think I said this a few minutes ago. I had it set up earlier today, checked it in the clear light of day, and it's really good. And now I've just set it up now after having finished the bell. We've got, 4 sides of it essentially completed, and or 3 sides really. And it sets up great. It's all nice and even. So now it's time to do the doors. The doors are done. The assembly's in. All I have to do is the hem, and so I'm going to iron that angle down and set the hems just like I did on the rest of it. Put the grommets and the ropes in, and the tent is complete. So now let's set it up once more just to look at the whole thing as a completed object, and that's it. So let's get to it. Let's get to work. I've got a bunch to do still, but boy, this is exciting. So let me see here. How do I want to do this? Find the door. Okay. So first thing to do is just spread it out evenly, That's the inside, this way. So let's find the top. There we go. I will endeavor to get the camera angle to be a little more useful to you guys, but I really need to, my main focus is on getting this right rather than getting it photogenic, so I hope you'll bear with me as I get this. All right, so now, let's see, I suppose I could turn this a little bit this way, right? Can we do that? Not really, it's not. Drop down a bit. Yeah, it gets more of it in. How's that? There we go. That's better. Okay. So, let me. Okay. Now we're cooking. That's all right. I want to smooth this out, spread it out evenly. When you're doing this, if you're making one for yourself, you want to just always try to keep it symmetrical, right? I mean, one side should be the same as the other within a certain tolerance, right? tolerance is kind of loose if you think back to the period of revolution, but they knew what they were doing. It's all handmade though, and they're getting these out quickly, so imagine there was some variation in them. That is not to say they were sloppily made. It's just that they were not, well, I don't know what it is to say, but I think you get the idea. I'm just going to smooth this out a bit. The neater it is, the easier it is to see where you are and what you're doing. So I like to get it all spread out properly, get all the bunches out and all that stuff. So let's get this folded over. Don't need that. This is the bell and back. It's complete and it looks great. So I set that up. And this is going to be a nice tent. And before dawn. So, all right, we got the doors. We got the. Stretch this. Let's get some of these wrinkles out. All right. So, we're going to do this just like we did the other side. Actually, I'm going to do one and match the other to it. These should both be the same. So, I think I want to open this up right now. Right? Don't I? So I've got my angle. Now I'm going from here to here. Now on the other side, same thing. From here to here. You know, from there back here on the other side. Straight line. So it's important that this is smoothed out. I don't want bunches here because that'll throw off the angle. I just want a nice straight angle. This is an exercise in geometry. My 11th grade geometry teacher would be proud of me, I think. But maybe I'll send him a link. Maybe it was 10th grade. I don't remember. Where did 10th grade? Especially since I started the year off under less than auspicious circumstances. He was explaining what a strict classroom he ran, and for one reason or another, I had a ballpoint click pen, and unscrewed it and managed to launch the cartridge into his back while he was up writing his name on the board. And so it was a rough start for me. But I learned a lot, and I think I did okay in the class, as I recall. Yeah, I guess so. All right, what's now? I need my straight edge. And I want to run a line from here at this crease, and you can't see that. I'm sorry about that, but you know what? Maybe I have to drop this a little lower. How about we do that? Because that's where I'm going to be. Most of the work is going to be taking place. So bear with me a moment as I adjust the height of the tripod. Whoa! Sorry about that. You didn't know you'd be getting motion sickness on live stream, did you? I'll do my best to minimize that. Let me switch to my live camera view. Is that better? Yeah. Cool. That's where I'm working. Anyway, so all right. So here's what we're going to do. This is the end that has the doors. Where's my yardstick? I'm going to run a line from this corner where we have the finished hem and this finished seam. I'm going to go from there along this line straight across to this point. So what I want to do is get my chalk. Where's my chalk? Chalk was in my pocket, right? If not, I'll go find my head. Okay, so I'm going to run a line from there to there. I'm going to do that on the other side. I want these to match, and I'm going to put a chalk line there. I'm going to just the same as I did on the other on the other hems. We're going to run the main fold line, and then 2 lines below that for one's a cut line and one is the top of the hem as it's folded up underneath. And that's really all there is to it. Like from here on out, it's straightforward. The really only tricky part of this is getting the angles right, getting your measurements right, and then doing careful work all the way through. If you do that, you will wind up taking 2-dimensional fabric and turning it into a 3-dimensional structure that'll maybe not replicate, but closely resemble the tents used by soldiers in the American Revolution in the 1770s. And it'll be fun to camp in, and it'll last a long time, and all the good stuff about it. I know, I'm something of a linen tent evangelist. I fell in love with these, and I don't know why really. I mean, I've liked camping since I was a kid, but I usually used modern tents, or camped out under the stars, or motorhomes, or campers, or cabins, or whatever. But I just love these tents. I love waking up in one of these. I like being in a thunderstorm in one of them. I like watching it dry after it rains. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of weird, I suppose, but I dig it. How do I want to do this? I want to extend this. That's what I want. I want to use this other stick to help extend this line, because I've got about 6 inches here where the yardstick doesn't cover. So I'm going to put my reading glasses on because I'm old and blind. I'm going to run this line. Let me make sure my audio is on. I forgot to turn it on last time. There we go. Okay, that's good. All right. So I'm going to run this line from the edge of this seam to my mark here. And what I want to do is just make sure that it matches up on there where it should. So before I do that, I want to smooth this again just to be sure that I take out any unnecessary tension or slack in this fabric. I want it to be, I want a symmetrical, nice door. So the more care you take at this stage, do my seams line up? Yeah, I can feel the other seam underneath here. That's nice. I don't want big bunches because then you're going to get a weird angle. I don't want weird angles, I want good angles. So there we go, right? I'm done with that. It's nice. All right, let's mark it. So I'll take this. We're going to go from here. I'm going to use this stick to extend it, but I want to make sure that I can see my mark. So I'm going to put another chalk line on that right there. I might even go down a little bit. I think that's a little high. There we go. Go for the center of that. How about that? This here, like so. Smooth this. It's another reason I like using the carpet for this phase. Most of the tent, if you watch the other live streams where I'm making this, most of the other streams I just worked on the wood floor. It's very good for that because you can sling the linen around smoothly and quickly. Here I want just the opposite. I want some friction on there, so I put a carpet down, and that helps hold the layers as I work them, so I can keep them smooth and match side to side, So, all right, I think we're ready. Let's put this on. So here, we're going to go from this corner, shoot right to there. And then across, let's put this on this edge. We're just going to keep it on there like that, right? Basically, I'm just making a long straight edge here, that's all. Just keep that parallel. There you go, there's your line, right? All right, now I'm going to kneel on it, so we're going to move. Make sure we're on that line. I don't want it flexing in one direction or the other. I just want it to go straight down the line. And let's go. Nice heavy line here so I can fold this stuff and not have it wipe away. Just want to be able to see that line all the way down. Do it again. Here. All right. There we go. That's all there is to that. There's my line. Looks a little higher. But I just double checked it. Should be fine and dandy. We know. I'm going to double check. And I'm going to do that by getting one of my existing tents. I'm going to lay it atop this. Just look at it again. Just to, what we have here is actually this is my first tent, and I know it works. You find the doors, which is right here. Just going to stretch it out on top. See how closely these angles match these measurements. We're just gonna look at it. Just seems roughly in the same place, smooth out any unnecessary weirdness from it. Now my original should be very slightly smaller than the new one because the stuff shrinks a bit when it gets wet and dried. And then it stretches, of course, as it's used and blown in the wind and stuff. So it won't be precisely the same size, but it's pretty close. Let's just invert it. Hey there, cat. Okay, my assistant Scout has returned from her nap. May mean I'm going to have some interference as I sew this, but and what I'm looking for is not an exact match, but we get close to that. There we go. Double check my seams are close. Like this is drawing back. I think I need to move it forward a bit. When that gets pulled down. Okay. We are right in that line. You see the scalloping here. This stuff shrinks more than the seams do. The seams are more solid now. Also, the body of the tent is shrunken that way, so it's a little bit shorter. I'm going to try to pull this. I will line up down there. That's pretty good though. You line these seams up, you get a better idea of how the angles match, right? So, come this way a bit. Not a lot. It's pretty close. All right, so this lines up pretty good. I think I still want to. All right, I like that. See, I think that's a little. I think I'm going to drop this just a little bit. I think I want to do that. This will scallop, and this will a bit, very slightly, but it's not nothing. These seams are different because after I made, this was the first one I made, after I made this one, I learned a thing or two, and one of those things I learned is that this door seam is more toward the center of the thing than I built this one, so I adjusted my template, and now I cut them a little bit more this direction. I think it's a bit more authentic to how it was done. All right, yeah, I think I want to drop this down a bit. I hate doing this kind of adjustment on the fly, but I think that's where it needs to go. Doesn't need much change though. Like really, let's see. Like I might even just do it the width of the stick on end. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna go just the barest amount down. Unless the top, maybe the top's different. No, the top's pretty good. That's all right. All right, let me think about this for a minute. I'm gonna, there's nobody here anyway, so I'll be back. I'm gonna take a minute and think this over. Once I make this cut, then we're sort of locked in, forever. And I want to be sure it's right. So, BRB. See there? I'll see you when I'm done with this part. Okay? And then we'll have a good this angle. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just push this just a little bit down. I just want to adjust this angle very slightly toward that way, and I think that will give me a better result. So we're gonna do that right now. Just like this. Where's my chalk? And yeah, that's what I want. I want to go just that direction. I think this will give me a better result, so we're going to do that. One of the things that I try to balance when I'm doing these, and this is, I haven't, I probably could talk to an engineer about this, but one of the things I try to balance is like the stretch and the shrink of the material versus the the stretch is the tension of it, right? Because each of the seams has a stake at the end of it, and all the interior stuff does not, so it shrinks a certain degree when it gets wet, a certain amount. And is that right? I think that's right. Fold on that line, there's your line, let's make it. So it takes me forever to make one of these decisions, but once I do, then it just flies. So maybe that's because of the certainty of it once I've done it. I think we're ready here. Let me heat the iron up. Let's get rolling. Yeah, I like this angle a little better. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it's, I think, exactly where it needs to be. So we're gonna let this heat up for just a minute or two, and then I'm gonna fold on this line. Scissors. Cut that off. These are my markers. I find it useful from making marks that. Plus, these are temporary to set it up. But it's helpful if you're making marks, and sometimes chalk can wear away and stuff, so you want a more permanent mark. I use thread or twine. Okay, let's see here. Let's take this one out too. Right? Just make sure you don't cut important stuff. This one comes out too. That's done. Where's this one? That one's done. And that is that, right? Oh, this can come out also. So these stitches down the front of the doors were to help me assemble it and keep, you want an overlap of the doors. So I put a loose temporary stitching down the front to help hold them in place while I work on it. Now that the body and the bell and everything is complete and I've got my angles for the doors, now they're just in the way down here, so I remove them. And as I work on this, I will at some point be removing the rest of it, but for now it stays. Okay, this is ready to fold. Or it's ready to mark for, okay, iron's hot, so let me get my cut line. That's a better mark there. Again, so we're dropping an 1.5 inches from that fold line. Don't want this one. Want that other one. So we drop 1.5 inches from that, and then this will be the hem, and then one more, and that'll be the cut line. This stick happens to be exactly 1.5 inches, so makes a good template. Nice straight edge for this marking. All right, so put this fuzz out there. And I'm just going to put one more in here in the center just to make sure I bridge those lines. I like to do that when I'm using straight edge. Do two ends, and then you connect them, but overlap the stuff you've already done, and then you can be certain that it's pretty good. So let's go here. Here. And again, as I said before when I was cutting the others, mark this cut line, and then I'm going to cut about 1/4 inch inside it because there's a thickness to the material, so you want to account for that and give it enough room that it's not, you don't want a big bunch of stuff in there. You want it to just lay flat and nice in there. So there we go. That's that. So this one's ready to cut. And then I can iron it, and I'll flip it over and I'll do the other one. Ow! All right, here we go. Make sure you're only cutting through one. But here we go. Nervous? First time? No, I've been nervous lots of times. All right, so here we go. That's it. So now we're going to fold this up underneath itself, just along that chalk line. Hit it with steam. I want to open this up though, so I don't put a crease in there necessarily on the other piece. So let's do that right now. Linen loves steam. You just hit this with a steam iron and it'll hold a really nice edge. Okay, just like that. You want to keep a nice straight edge here. If you see any bumps or divots in it, you just straighten them out and adjust them. If you can do that even after you've ironed it once or twice, you can still go back and correct. It's worth doing. It's a nice straight edge. Now it's going to tighten. When this gets wet and dries, it's gonna, all this stuff's gonna tighten up, which makes it cool. That's when it really looks like a tent. It's seen some weather, right? So let's do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna just take this piece here. I'm gonna undo. Where's my seam ripper? Finally, using my seam ripper. Not that I look forward to using it ever, because usually it means there's been an error. But in this case, it's just a good tool for this. I'm just gonna slide this in. I don't really need it here, actually. So anyway, I'm undoing some of that stitching, the temporary stuff, just so I can fold this in underneath. You know? Once I do that, then I can, I'll match these doors. So I'm gonna fold this from this point. I know it goes to that point. It doesn't go any further or less. I'm gonna put this under here for now. And in fact, I can kind of see where it was. I sort of lost my mark, but luckily I have it here. So I'm gonna put this on this way. And now I'm just gonna match these. Pull it out, push it, whatever you need to get it to line up. And that's already pretty close. You just finesse it until it matches. Check occasionally to see if your seams are pretty well aligned and that there aren't any big bumps or slack parts of the linen. And then you can be reasonably certain that you're getting a symmetrical result. Somewhat surprisingly, this looks like it's right on already. So let's hit it. It actually looks like a little bit too big. But I could draw it in just a little bit, I think. Just to do that, I just roll it a little bit. Not much. I mean, it's real close. And again, once this is, you know, who's ever going to see this stuff? I want to protect that from the floor. And protect the floor from it. So I'll put the towel down. Put this back on here. Just make sure that we get a nice even result. There. Okay. Go. Let it run here. And that's that. That's all there is to it. Now we are going to roll. Let's see, this one. Let's go ahead and do this one first, I guess. Do the other one, you know. Ow. I'll tell you what. So here we go. More. Stitching here. Sound on. So here we go. More. Got sound on? Yeah. Got the camera on? Yeah. All right, let's go. We're going to be doing some stitching here. to it. Okay, I have my angles, I've got my lines, this is all ready to go. What I want to do now is mark where I'm going to fold. Oops, I don't want that. I have my line, right? This all matches up. That's that door, that's the other door. So, get this out of the way. Damn it, I did it again. All right, here we go. So we're just gonna run this one, and my chalk. All right. What hast thou done with thy chalk? I don't know. Put it somewhere. Where's the chalk? I don't know. I have somewhere. There it is. All right. So, get my chalk. This one's ready to go. This one is nearly ready. So, all we're doing here is we're going to put this across here. Follow this line. This is the fold for the top of the hem. And here's the cut line, same different direction. All right, there we go. So now, again, cut inside that line, taking care not to cut through more than the fabric you want to cut. And then we roll it and iron it. We're good to go. Right? All right. Okay, get that out of the way. My iron on. Let's get the iron on. Get it hot. And I filled it with water, so it's ready to steam. On my towel, so protect the linen and the floor. Here we go. Smooth, so you get a nice smooth hem. All right, now it's just a matter of we'll let that heat up for a minute or two, and then I'm going to iron it just to get some steam in it, and that'll help it hold this edge, and I'll fold this under, and it'll be good to go. Actually, I'm going to get on this side. It's a little easier to walk from this direction. That's really all it needs, just a little bit. Start folding right to that chalk line. And tuck that under, hit it again with the iron, and it's ready to hem. Got a little bit to trim out here, just so it doesn't get bunched up, you know. fold some of it and then hit it with the iron and carry on. That'll hold what you've done already, so it doesn't unfold. You start it here. Actually, you can do it this way too, right? That works. So, not bad. Get this end there, and the seam lines up nicely. I like that. It tells me that it's properly square. Or it's a right angle. And there we go. So this is ready to hem. I think I've got a, let's see, let me do it from the back side. So this one I can do from this side so the camera will be able to see it. The other one I'm going to have to do, I think, with my back to the camera, and I apologize for that, but that's just the way it is, you know. So I'm just going to double check this last time. Triple check, double check, whatever. However many times I'm going to check it. I just want to make sure it's right, you know. There we go. That's good. I'm happy. Get my needle, thread, let's get to work. Twine, twine, twine. All right. So let's do this. Like so. Right, what do we got here? What's the okay. A little bit of wax, beeswax, beeswax, beeswax. And high contrast background helps, right? To thread a needle. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to start here at the end. I want to make sure that these seams are aligned, and then I'm going to do the same stitch that I did on the rest of the hem. Nothing more to it than that. Except, can you see this? Yeah. All right, on this one, on this end, you can see where it's folded in like this. I'm going to start here at the bottommost corner. I'm going to force that through because it's 3 layers there. I'm going to hide this tail in here, just buried in there. And I'm going to whip up the side of this, and that just makes it a little bit stronger and a little bit neater. There's nothing fancy to it, I just go in and over. None of these are complicated. It's just simple repetition of simple stitches. And here you gotta work it through because you're going through multiple layers of heavy linen. Again, just like in the rest of it, you know, it's just after you do it a while, you get a feel for it, you figure it out. None of it's hard to do, it's just a matter of doing it. So by doing that, then you just, or once you've done that, as we're getting up here to the top, I'm gonna then transition to doing the filling across here. I'll put one more in here just to lock that in. Jam it through. All right, now, just like I do on the other seams, I'm gonna do a couple of loops here, just right at the edge, just to hold that. Just gets a lot of wear, and like to make sure. In all the years I've had my tent, both of my tents, linen ones anyway, I've never had one of these fall apart or fail, so I'm confident that this works. I don't know why it wouldn't. What is that? What is that? I've done something wrong here. I've got an extra loop. I don't know where that came from. Went in, looped through, and now why is this not did I do? Only thing in that case is to get in, find the loop. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, now. And I know the camera's not high enough resolution to see this, but I'll show you up close later maybe. So here we go. Now we just proceed as normal. What is going on here? Why is this tangling? Too much wax on here or something? There. Go in, catch a couple of threads, move over, repeat. All the way down the line. Take care to work out any slack or tightness that you have in it, just so it's just a nice even hem all the way across. Even pressure. How's that look? That looks pretty nice. That's what we're after right there. Oh, bit of wool there from the carpet, I think. Let's get that out. I don't like that in there. Okay. Arr. Come on. There we go. Hmm.